Hey everybody, what's up? Today I just wanted to do a video to you guys, and just to be honest with you, talk about the whole kind of job experience because I actually do have some good news, and that is that I found a job, which is brilliant. It is a job within academia, obviously. You know, when you've been doing a PhD for a while, you kind of do become institutionalized a little bit to academia, but my experience was very interesting, and I basically just want to kind of go over that experience a little bit and kind of talk to you guys a little bit about that because obviously my last video I talked about don't struggle for a PhD like I did, but um, obviously it's turned out well. I just wanted to go over basically my experience, right? So the main thing that you have to know, especially when you're sort of a doctoral candidate and you're still looking for work, is that your life is basically going to come down to pretty much just balancing your PhD work and any teaching that you're doing, and then also finding a job. But the thing is, it is so much of like a marathon, right? And I mean that in the truest sense, right? Not just like, oh, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? It's completely different from that. It's like consistently putting in applications every day. Like, I'm not joking when I say this, but I must have applied for over 300 to 400 jobs. Okay. And that's a lot of jobs. That's a lot of job applications. And the truth is, you will apply to hundreds and you will pretty much get rejected by 95% of them. Um, Probably about 90% of them will throw your application in the bin, and then the other 5% will look at it and reject it. And then maybe you might get to a next stage on a few of those. So just be, aware of that. Basically, is the only thing I'd say. That was a long process. It's been a long journey, honestly. Obviously, I'm gonna continue to make updates on how the job goes. Continuing in academia, but I basically just wanted to make this video because I really kind of underestimated the job search. Obviously, I was successful, and that's great, and that's good for me or whatever. But I said in my last video actually that the kind of competition for mid to kind of entry level jobs these days is just crazy. Do not underestimate it. So obviously, I've given that advice before, but now I'm in a position where I am still employed, and I know that there are going to be people going through a similar process. I just wanted to report a little bit, on what I did and how it went for me, and I'd say the whole process overall, just to give some summary stats, right, was I applied for somewhere in the range of maybe 300 to 400 jobs. It took me about 4 months, and I went on maybe about 6, 7 interviews, and some of the interviews went really well, and some of them didn't go really well. The ones that went really well, the ones I felt confident about, and then the last interview I did was the one with the job I got. So those are just some stats on it. But anything's possible, I guess, if I can get a job. So just wanted to give an update. Some people, I guess, getting to the end of like an academic journey and then like getting at the end of the PhD, a lot of people expect to go into industry, right? And I just want to touch on this briefly because a lot of people talk about, oh, I've done a PhD, I want to earn money in industry. Okay, I understand that. I totally get that. The thing is that you don't necessarily have to, and your relationship with money does come into it. You see, with academia, you do take less salary, but it is more flexible and there is more freedom, and you are kind of trusted to your own devices. The thing I like about working in academia is that you don't necessarily have somebody breathing down your neck 24/7. If you're a lecturer and you know what you're doing, or you're a researcher and you know what your project is, or you're any kind of member of academic staff, you know, that you're kind of just left to do that really. And that's a good thing. You want that because then you're going to be able to kind of relax a little bit more and be able to do your job a bit better. But for me, I like that because I like the freedom. I like the autonomy. I know that some people, they must show up at work at precisely 9:30 and finish at 5:30. You know, and if they don't, they get reprimanded. But it's not really like that in academia. You get your work done wherever, but yeah, it's important to remember. Anyway, it's just going to be kind of a short one today, but obviously I've got some new ideas for videos soon. Going to do more long form stuff, more IRL stuff. If any of you guys out there have any questions, or you're on your sort of your own journey, maybe you're considering doing a PhD, maybe you're in a PhD, maybe you're coming to the end of a PhD, then just leave me a comment. I'm happy to answer as many comments as I can, as long as they're not like, I hate you, I hate your face, and never speak to me again, then, feel free to drop a comment. Obviously, I try to answer those where I can. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.